guys? Welcome to today's podcast. And today's video we're going to be talking about is consuming or smoking weed bad, because there's just so many narratives where people are like, oh, it's fucking terrible. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's like not the best, but like it's better than alcohol. Like, so many people have their own ideas and shit like that. And again, I'm not going to try to be like, oh, go smoke weed, you're going to become a superhuman. But I'm just going to try and pretty much point out what I think of it and shit like that. And I don't know. With consuming weed, it's bad, but yes, and like it's a yes and a no, because like yes, it's bad to consume a fuckload of weed, but then also it's least effective, or as I would want to say, less damaging than things like alcohol and other drugs out there. But pretty much, like, if you can stick to a moderate amount of weed and stick to, well, you're not spending all your fucking money on weed, you're not just sitting there smoking weed all day, like, you're still getting shit done, like, it's really, at the end of the day, not that bad, you know? And pretty much, I got some notes down right here that I'm gonna kind of follow throughout, today's little podcast, but pretty much, that's like pretty much like is there any benefits really with smoking weed? And we all kind of know the basic benefits that people kind of say, like, oh, it helps with anxiety, it helps with depression, and all, like, people already know it kind of can help people with PTSD. It kind of depends on the person, I would really want to say. And it could also help people recover from opiate addiction or other addictions. And it can help with body pain and shit like that. Like, you got arthritis, smoke a backwood. No, I'm joking, but like, again, like, some people do take it for pain relief. If it's like physical pain and shit like that. That's just like I would say like a basic ass list of like basic benefits. I know there's probably more benefits out there, and that it might help with people with certain diseases and shit like that. Weed, if like taken, like, again, I said, in moderate amounts and at the right times and settings, it can be really beneficial for people mentally. I feel like a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't handle weed, oh, I can't do it, and then they drink a fuckload of alcohol. It just, number one, the biggest thing is getting your body used to it. It's like anything else. It's like, when you first started drinking alcohol, you didn't like the taste of alcohol. You didn't really like being drunk. But then you kept doing it, so your body got used to it, and at one point you started liking it. That's at least how I was with drinking. That's why I don't drink a lot. But then I noticed as I got older and the more I was around it and shit, the more I got used to the taste. And now when I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I might have a beer. It tastes like fucking garbage, but it's garbage I can handle. You know what I'm saying? And weed is exactly the fucking same, but it's not garbage in a tin fucking can. Unless you're smoking it out of a tin can. But, pretty much what I'm trying to say is, there's obviously multiple ways to consume weed. And, like, now it's fucking insane. You could get, like, spray, like, you know, remember sour spray when you were a little kid? You could get shit like that now that contains weed instead of the sour shit. And then you're high. You got the memes. You'll be like, type shit, you know? All those edibles we all know. There's so many different kinds. Gummies, fucking baked goods, all that kind of shit. Then those like dabs, and then those weed. And I feel like really with the people that smoke weed, and they're like, I got so much anxiety, fuck that, but I could do edibles. Number one, like, it's just pretty much either what the fuck you're smoking out of. I'm not saying, oh, like, what you're smoking out of is bad, blah, blah, blah. But if you're new to smoking and you rip a fucking big ass bong and you get anxiety, your body's kind of freaking out. No fucking shit. You just took a big ass fucking rip that you're not fucking used to. Like, that's when I'm saying, like, you gotta take your baby steps a little. Like, you can't just go up into a party never smoking weed and go hit a 6-foot fucking bong. That's how you fucking just send yourself to fucking Pluto. You know, you gotta warm yourself up, hit the pipes, hit a joint or two, and then you could kind of go to the big boy shit. That's at least how, I don't know, for me, like, first time smoking, I hit it out of a bubble and shit. Like, in high school, we didn't really always have the best shit, but it was like apples and stuff like that. And then later on in high school, once like everyone started getting jobs and shit and buying bongs and stuff like that, that's when I started smoking out of bongs. But again, took my gradual steps, and now we are here where we're at. But again, people do also have their preferences, because again, smoking is bad for you. So again, people do take edibles instead, which again, I promote that, because again, smoking's bad, but that's my 2 cents on that. But pretty much, and it's also the amount of weed you smoke. Like, if you're new to smoking and you smoke like 20 fucking bowls, no wonder why you got tunnel vision and you're freaking the fuck out. You're new to smoking and you take dabs. Dumbass, you got take the baby steps. But and build up a tolerance. That's why people flex that they have the best shit, and it's nice to do, like, you know, it's nice to have the best weed, the highest THC levels. But again, when you first get into weed, it's not bad to fuck with the low strains, the low THC and stuff, and build up your tolerance before you fucking just jump yourself into like a Khalifa Kush backwood, and you fucking just send yourself to fucking Pluto. But pretty much, yeah, it's just all about the setting as well. If you're around the right people and the right time, you don't want to be doing it. And like, again, there's some people that can handle weed better than others. So if you get all lazy and you can't get shit done during the day, you don't want to go to work while you're high, then don't smoke during the day, smoke at night. And I know a lot of people that do that, or like, I'm kind of in the middle, where it's like, I don't just smoke myself out too much. I might smoke myself out sometimes too much on days off, and just kind of take like a little cat nap and shit like that. But usually I stay in a good little rhythm where I can still function and be a functionable human being and be a little stoned. But weed is a drug, and a bit like alcohol, where they are both easily accessible now and can bring people together. Like, again, weed's always been kind of easily to be, like, it was always kind of easily to access. Like, again, before it was legal, my brother was smoking weed all the time in high school. Like, before I even knew what the fuck weed was, he was smoking fucking weed. Like, you know, like, type shit I'm talking about. And pretty much, like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, but pretty much it was always kind of easily to access. But now we got dispensaries and legalization and shit like that, and med cards and shit. So now you could just be 21 or 18 and just walk up and be like, give me the weed, and they give you the weed if you got the money, you know? But I feel like when you consume weed, it is a bit healthier than alcohol, obviously. Alcohol fucks with your liver. Alcohol can make you black out. Alcohol can make you do stupid shit. Weed, like, the most stupidest fucking thing you could really do off of fucking weed, it's like oversleep, or like, you know, become a lazy piece of shit. And honestly, if you avoid those things, and like I said, take it in moderation, like people talk about with alcohol, you'll be fucking fine. It actually can help you a lot. It could relieve a lot of fucking stress in your life. You're stressed as fuck after work, or you're stressed about some stupid shit that's on the side. Well, smoke a little bit of weed, and you'll have your mind off of it for a bit. I don't know, like, when I was younger, I used to, and I still kind of do this, but weed kind of helps me dissect things. Like, kind of step back and dissect a situation. If that's like a situation I'm in now or in the future or whatever, you know? It's kind of an interesting thing. It's a good tool if you know how to fucking use it. Here's why when you consume too much weed, wait, what the oh yeah. What the fuck did I even write here? Here's why when you consume too much weed, only 3 things are to happen. Oh, okay, now this is what I was saying. You either go and be high as hell and have a little bit of anxiety, or be high as hell, throw up, because you ate a whole bunch of fucking garbage and smoked, or you're just gonna slump the fuck out. For a second, I don't know why the fuck, like, my handwriting's kind of sloppy as fuck on this notebook. That's kind of why I couldn't read that shit. But when you consume too much alcohol, you, like I said, you black out. Many things can happen to you, and both can cause damages to you mentally and physically, but I feel like weed is safer than alcohol, and everyone can kind of step on that. Like, even I got old people agreeing with that shit most of the fucking time, unless they're like some like chronic alcoholic, but those people are different. But also, consuming too much weed can lead to many bad things, like using too much of anything else. You know, you're gonna get dependent on it. You're gonna become lazy. You're gonna not be able to function without it. Like with me with weed, I would say I can function without weed, but I function better with it. And that's also, it still fucks me over a bit, you know, anyways. But compared to something like nicotine, if I don't have nicotine, I lose my fucking mind. But that's because I started smoking nicotine way before I started smoking weed. Like, I started smoking cigarettes and shit when I was like 13, and then moved to like smoking weed when I was like 15 in high school. Weed isn't as addictive as other drugs or alcohol, but also smoking and consuming it on a normal basis will, like I said, lead to dependency, and withdrawal effects are, compared to many drugs like nicotine or alcohol, the withdrawal effects are pretty minor, but again, you're going to still experience withdrawal effects. Different types of weed and products, so each like strain can stem from one or two types of weed, and we all kind of know indica or sativa, or those like the mixture, which is kind of a hybrid, and hybrids are, like I said, a mixture of the two, and they can kind of lead to a body and a head high. I think indica is more of a body high, while sativa is more of a head high. And pretty much, to smoke weed comfortably and to your benefit, don't overuse it, and study the strains and find out the ones that benefit you. Like if you want high THC or low THC, or you want sativa or you want indica or you want a hybrid and stuff like that, and kind of find the shit you like. And once you find the shit you like, again, if you can find the shit you like from a dispo and find it for a price that, you know, isn't hell expensive, like, you can pretty much do, like, again, it can benefit you a lot, you know, if you don't overuse it. And again, like, weed, compared to a lot of drugs out there, it's not that expensive. People say it is, but it's because they're over consuming. Again, I get caught in that. Sometimes I'll blow through whatever I buy in like 2 days, but normally I try to keep it for like 4 days to a week. But I normally buy like 7 grams of shake or something like that. I get this for like $24. And then I buy a cart for like 21 or $20, or like, you know, like 20, $30 sometimes. Or like I buy joints and stuff like that. I don't go ahead, unless I have the money, I don't really overspend too much. Or I get this like little syrup. It's actually amazing. Like, again, I will say this. Fuck codeine. Guys, get THC syrup. There's like these little syrup bottles that they sell at dispensaries, which can be 1,000 milligrams of THC or 100. You can pour it up into a Sprite, whatever the fuck you want, and they're hella good. So I definitely would say you guys gotta check those out. One brand is like Uncle Ornies, I think that's what they're called. Definitely check those out if you guys can get your hands on them. And pretty much they're usually pretty cheap. I get them for like $11 usually. And yeah, just having a healthy relationship with weed is like anything else, and it's really all about just balance, you know, and just weed. I feel like it's here for like a specific reason, like alcohol. Alcohol, if you can balance it well, you can have, you know, a pretty good time, you know. And then it's like the same with weed, but with weed, you're not gonna black out or do anything, but like it's a way safer drug, you know. It's like with when they were forced legalizing weed and shit, and when I was in high school, I was like, why did they ever ban this shit? Because it's way safer than alcohol. Like, to be honest, like, I'd rather have my kid go spark up a joint than go drink a bottle of vodka, because again, if you're in a safe environment while drinking and you balance yourself, and you fucking don't drink shot after shot, and you kind of just watch yourself, yeah, it could be a fun time. But I don't know, I never gone to the hospital for weed, but I've gone to the hospital for alcohol. So let that just kind of sink in. And I'm not the only person that obviously has had that happen either. So again, let that really fucking sink in. But pretty much, yeah, also weed isn't for everyone, just how alcohol isn't for everyone. But again, this is just kind of my video to get out there to kind of express just some knowledge about weed if you don't know that much about weed, and just kind of to let people know that, hey, like, consuming weed isn't bad. Like, I see all this shit on Instagram all the time where it's like, yeah, if you smoke weed, you're a lazy fuck, blah, 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 all this shit. And I'm not saying, hey, if you consume weed, you're not a lazy fuck. Because, again, you could consume a fuckload of weed and be a lazy fuck and get nothing done ever. But then also, you could consume weed and then it could really help you, you know, and be beneficial. Like, dead ass, I would not have this YouTube channel right now. Or I at least would not be posting as much as I do if it wasn't for weed. Because sometimes I won't be in a mood to make a video and I'll smoke some weed and I'm in the mood. Or like I'm at a wall and my creativity, like I can't really get anything to make a video, you know, I can't get any ideas. Smoke a little bit of weed, it helps me get through that, or at least kind of dissect it and kind of get something, you know. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all in the next video and the next podcast or the next fucking live stream. So subscribe the fuck up. We're almost at like 250 subscribers. I'm trying to hit 300, but we're gonna hit that shit before the end of the fucking year. But either way, fucking subscribe up. Let's try to hit 250 though, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys. I ain't with the drama. You can be my llama. Flying with 300 ball. These bitches see she Sosa. I swear I got